was afraid I was going to be late. I forgot something down at the warehouse, so I ran down there really fast and came back and thought, I'm out of breath. I'm out of shape. So, welcome. Thank you for being here. I have a lot of fun stuff to share with you. So, I'm not going to spend a whole lot of time diddling daddling. I want to get started. So, as you come on, I would love for you to tell me that you're here. Give me a thumbs up or something if you can hear me, and let me know that the sound is okay. That's always one of my little fears, that I'm going to be just talking away and then you can't even hear me. So once you pop on, just let me know you're here. And I'm going to get started with some fun stuff I have to show you. So, first things first, I do want to do some lettering with you. Hey, somebody's here from Montgomery. I'm using StreamYard, and that helps me have the two screens. It just helps me on my end, but you'll have to give StreamYard permission for me to see your name. It's a You should get a little prompt asking you for that. Okay, I see a thumbs up. You can hear me. Awesome. So we've got Vicky. I should know. Hey, Vicky, I'm so glad you're here. So, a lot of fun stuff, and I want to get started and tell you about it. So, first of all, we will do some lettering. I don't know if you heard this or not, but Timothy Keller passed away. I think it was the 19th or 20th. I can't remember which day it was. He had cancer, and I have several of his books. I love to listen to his sermons, and so I printed out 50 top Timothy Keller quotes. So I wanted to letter some of that with you today. Last week, I think it was last week, I used my church journal and showed you how I would take my notes from church and put it into my big scripture journal. But this week, we're just going to letter some quotes. But before we do, I want to show you what I've been working on. And it's not just me. I couldn't do this without this team of ladies that help me, but we are working on bringing you another workshop, and this time it's for lettering. So let me get my thing, and I've got a kit, so I want to show you what's in the kit because I'm excited about the way it turned out. Okay, so there's the kit. It's a scripture journaling kit, and it's got some of my very favorite supplies in there. So before I start lettering with you, I want to show you what's inside this kit. So there's I think I could have a 10-foot table and still not have enough room. I would fill it up. All right, so here we go. So there's two options. You can sign up for the workshop, and it is only $15. It's for 3 days, June 12th, 13th, and 14th. And the way this will work is you will be given access to pre recorded lessons each day. They live over in our teaching platform. So if you sign up for the $15, you'll get access to those 3 days of content. Then at night, each evening, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, at 6 o'clock Central Time, we will gather in Zoom. And I'll be there to answer your questions. I will help you. You can show me what you're working on. Hey, Shania, you can say, hey, I'm having trouble with this. Can you help me with that? And so it's a lot of hands-on. So we've got a good of both worlds. So the lessons are pre-recorded. You can watch them at your convenience. I've already heard from a few of you. You'll be on vacation. That's okay. And then that night we'll gather live in Zoom. And the reason we do that is because I really like being able to hear your voice. I like to hear your questions. I like to see what you're working on, and Zoom gives us that ability to do that. And another reason I like it is that you're able to meet other ladies who are trying to do the same thing you are. And in the past, it's just worked out really well doing the workshops that way. And that's my favorite part of the workshop is getting to meet y'all and hear you, but also watching people make connections and give each other input. And things like, well, this is my favorite pen, or I like using this, or, it's just really sweet to watch that fellowship form with the ladies. So that's what we're doing. So if you will mark your calendar for June 12th, 13th, and 14th, you do need to pre-register. That way, that gets you into our email flow that's going to give you all the details and all the links that you need and all the information that you need. So I'm going to show you, Shania. She's got a good question. What type of paper do I use? So we have an option with the workshop. So you can just pay the $15 and you'll have access to all the things. But because I know that some people would rather just, instead of shop for supplies, they want it already ready for them. So we have this kit. So everything that I'll be using will be, we're not putting water in here. I will be using water. Almost everything that I will be using will be in this kit. So I want to show you what's in here because I'm really proud of the way that it turned out. Raven did the labels for us. I like the labels. So let me show you. So this is the inside. They've got this one packed really nice. So I kind of hate to open it up. But you can't see it if I don't open it. So I'm going to pull this down like this. All right. So here we go. This is what you're going to see. Everything's just tucked away in here. So you've got this little piece of paper, and it's going to tell you what's inside your kit. And then on the back, it's just a little letter from me. So with our kits, I like to include tools for you to try. So these are your tools, and I'm going to show you about each one of them. Then you're going to receive a pouch to hold your tools. And then you're also going to get one of my workbooks. So I'm going to give you a little bit more information about that part as well. But let me pull this out. This is the workbook that we have. It's a nice paperback cover. It's got the back. There's 100 pages. There's practice pages. There's blank pages in here. There's traceables. I think there's 7 or 8 different traceables in the workbook. I lost count. There's traceable tips. But I'm going to show you that a little bit more in just a second. So I'm going to move this out of the way and show you the tools first, and then we'll circle back around. So before I forget to tell you, though, I had notes, but I'm still jumping around. I guess that's because that's the way my brain works. All right, so I want you to know that we really need, if you want to order a workshop, we really need you to go ahead and order so that we can get it shipped to you in time so that you'll have it for the workshop. So to give you a little incentive to go ahead and get it ordered, we're going to give you a little gift. So if you place your order for the workshop and the kit, you need to do both of them together. We're going to put one of my prayer journals in here. So I don't know which one you'll get. It's going to depend on, I don't want to promise you one. It's going to depend on how many we have and how many people we have order. So the design on the prayer journal might vary, but it'll be pretty, I promise. And inside the prayer journal, there's lines. You can use it for a church notebook too, or prayer journal, whatever you want to use it for, really. It's got a lot of lined pages, but there are also a lot of line artwork also that you can color. And we all like to color, don't we? I love to color. So there's that. So here's my bullet points. My brain thinks in bullet points. So workshop is $15 for the workshop only. If that's all you sign up for, is just the workshop, you're going to receive an email you're going to receive a bunch of emails with information. You're going to receive a link to be able to print off a PDF of the workbook. So if you only sign up for the workshop, you're going to have to print this yourself, which you can do. And there's 60 pages for the PDF. So keep that in mind to decide, do you want to print this off yourself or do you want to order the kit? The kit is $35. Yeah, $35. And it includes, I'm saying this really slow so that it all sinks in. If your brain is like mine, you need to hear it a couple of times. If you get the kit, you're going to get the workbook that's already printed out. If you do not get the kit, you get a workbook, but you have to print it out, okay? This is one that I printed out just so you could see. So it's like 60 pages. Hey, Rebecca, I'm so glad you're here. Giving everybody the lowdown on this workshop that's coming. So bullet point number 1, you can do the workshop for $15. You get access to 3 days of lessons, 3 nights of Zoom gatherings, and then you get access to the PDF that you have to print out with the practice pages, the tips, and traceables. Let me show you one of the pages. So, do you know what a traceable is? This is like the actual lettering, and I'm showing you the steps of how to draw these shapes. Then you can practice doing it yourself, drawing it on top of it, and then you can start drawing it yourself. So, get back to my bullet point. Workshop, $15. You print it out yourself. Option number 2, workshop plus the kit, which is the combo kit, or combo is what it's called on the website. You get the actual paperback copy. It's color. It's really pretty. It's a nice cover. And you get the pouch. You get the tools to try, and I'm going to show you those in just a second. And if you order the workshop and kit by the 31st, we're going to put a gift in there to give you incentive to go ahead and get it ordered. You're going to get one of our journals. So you might get this one. You'll get one of these. Don't know which one. It's going to depend on how many people order. And you can actually practice. You could do some lettering in these. You can use it for a prayer journal, notes, whatever you want to use it for. Okay, so that's the 2 options. You could get, the third option would be to order just the kit, and it's $35. But if you get just the kit, the workshop doesn't come with it. All right, does anybody have questions about any of that before I show you what's in the kit? Because I want you to see. So I've got these supplies narrowed down so that you can do this lettering with some of my favorite tools. We're putting this pouch in there so that you can keep up with your tools. There's that. There's the workbook. Can you see that okay? I don't think I have my thing going in the right way. All right, so it's full color. It's got some practice. Part of the problem is I've got so much stuff on this table. So during the workshop, we're going to go through the workbook, and I'm going to teach you about your creativity, how you can use it to help you in many ways, but particularly with it's a good stress relief, but it's also a good way to learn verses, memorize verses. It's a good way to process things that are going on in your life. So we're going to go through this in our workshop. And then I'm going to show you in the workshop how you can draw shapes. And those shapes that you draw can become letters. And then the letters that you draw can be put together to form words. And so that's what I'm going to be teaching you. And we'll do a lot of practice. And then I'm going to show you some application tips. And by application tips, I mean how you can use these. And you can create how you can create a scripture journal or a scripture notebook so that you can be intentional with the way that you practice. So you could practice words like cat, dog, mouse, or you could practice words, be intentional and practice words like grace, mercy, or you can choose verses to practice. And the more you draw these words and practice, the more it's going to improve not only your lettering ability, the skill, it's also going to help get those words in your mind and in your heart. So that's a lot of what this workshop is about, of how you can use this as a tool to help you spiritually, to help you mentally, even emotionally. This will be helpful emotionally, because drawing these shapes is a great way to zone into what you're doing and tune out some of the chaos that might be going on in the world around you. So there's so many ways you can use this for good. And that's what we're going to learn about in the workshop. So this is just a little glimpse at what's inside the workbook. And there's the traceables, and I'll show you how to use the traceables. And let me just say this: if you are already one of our monthly Creative Heart ladies in the lettering group, you already have access to these traceables. These are already in your learning hub. We've just put them all together in, not all of them. We've put some of them, because there's hundreds over there. We've put some of them together into a workbook because some people like them in one place. So this is just a sampler of some of the traceables that our monthly ladies get every month. They get one every week of the month. They get a new traceable with a verse or a quote. So this is just giving you some insight into what's inside the workbook. And so there's plenty of pages in the back for you to practice what you've learned from the front part. Okay, so that's the workbook that comes in the kit. If you do not order the kit, you have to print your own workbook. Okay, so now let me show you the tools, because this is important. I learned this a long time ago whenever I was learning to paint. We all know how to paint. We've all painted at some point in our life, but having the right tools really does help. And then knowing how to use those tools makes it even better. So these are some of the things, the tools to try that will be in your kit if you order a kit. So this is probably one of my favorite pens for lettering. It's called a sign pen, S-I-G-N, sign. So if you're wanting to learn to do some of the brush lettering, to me, in my opinion, it's one of the easiest ways to get started, because the tip, while it's like a brush tip pen, it's shorter. And to me, it's easier. It's just easier to control. So this is the tip. Let me see if I can bring this down a little bit for you. Here we go. I'm going for a drive. So this is the tip. And if you hold it up, straight up like that, you can see how thin that line is that you can achieve with this pen. If you hold it just a little bit at an angle, one thing before I show you, so when we're doing an upstroke, and I'll show you that in the class, we want a thin line like this. When you're doing a downstroke, we want a thick line. We can hold this at an angle, put a little bit of pressure on, and pull it down, and look, we get a thick line. So they're really nice to work with. I just like them. So like in my journal, I would write the word grace. So I might do, then I'm going to put some pressure right here. Then I'm going to lift up and get my straight line. If I wanted that thicker, then I can go back and just add a little bit more. It really makes a nice little line. That's the only way I know to say it. Add a little bit more. Then I'm going to make another shape. This is a basic shape in lettering. Added a little bit thicker there for that downstroke. Then I'm going to add this little shape. Add a little bit thicker. Here's that shape again, isn't it? There's so many letters that you can draw with just that very simple shape. I'm about to show you another one. Oh, I forgot to put pressure. That's okay though. The good thing with lettering like this is it's yours. You don't have to do it perfectly, and it's better to not try to do it perfectly. You'll enjoy it better, and that adds to the value, I think, because if we wanted a computerized perfect letter, we could just use our computer and use a font. But this is special to be able to write these words, trace them however you want to do it. If you're drawing it yourself or tracing it from the ones I put in the workbook, and have your own touch on it. You can choose the colors you want to use. But this is an example of the sign pen. All right, let me show you another one. So this one, a lot of us have these possibly around the house if you have children. I'm going to show you how you can use them. I'm going to flip my little card over, and they're very similar to the sign pen as far as the tip. It's just a bigger tip so you can see it better. So see the point? It's got a nice point on it. Then it's got this angle to the tip. So if I hold it straight up like this, I get a really nice straight line like that. If I hold it at an angle, look, I get a nice thick line. So this is to show you that you don't have to spend a lot of money to do lettering. You can use what you have, and we're giving you an assortment of pens and markers to show you that. Then you can decide, instead of having to go out and buy a bunch of different things and then realize, I don't really like that, you can test these out and decide which ones you like the best. So I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to start right here, go around. I'm going to do the chisel part. I'm going to pick up, slide over. I'm about to run out of room. Up is thin, make our little curly. Pressure is thick. Then we're going to do that shape again. You see that? And let's see if I have room to do the C. I'm going to run off the page. I do that all the time. There's the C, and I'll go ahead and do the E, even though it's not where it needs to be. There's that shape, and then all we have to do is just pull it down. So it's basic shapes, and I'll show you how to do them, and then we'll combine those basic shapes to form letters. And then when we are intentional with our practice, we can practice drawing these shapes and letters and words, and actually be writing out some encouraging statements or verses, encouraging quotes. That's what we can do. And that helps us get these words of truth in our mind and in our heart, and it helps improve our lettering. All right, so let me show you the other marker. This is a Tombow, and these are water-based, and these are special because they have a brush tip on one end, and then they have a pointed tip on the other end. So there's the brush, my words are getting tangled up. The brush tip. See how fine it is? So we can hold and do a very light touch. And look at that nice thin line that we can get. Watch what happens when we're going down and put just a little pressure. Look at that really nice thick line. These are awesome markers to write with and do your lettering. So let me show you one. So I'm going to get around here to the part where I'm going down. I'm going to apply pressure, and then I'm going to pick up, and just be really, really light, a light touch. All right. Then I'm going to go down with pressure, pick up, do really light touch. I'm going to do my shape again. Pressure up. There's that shape up. Here's that shape that's so popular in lettering. And then I ran off the page again, but that's all right. And there's my E. So the fun thing about these is that because they're water-based, we can use this other little tool. I'll show you it. This is the thin line you can get with this other. Almost forgot to show you that. And with it, you can use it and get a nice thin line. Or what you could do is use it and draw the second line and then just fill it in. So much we can do with these. So this is where the other little tool comes into play. So this is a water brush, and I'll show you how to use this in the workshop. And if you've watched very many of the lives, I've shown you on here how to do them. This has not been used before, and I'm not going to use it here, but this unscrews. You add water right here, put the top back on, and let me grab mine that's already got water in it. Look at here. This is one. So this is one that I already have. I keep these all the time. And where's my little lid? So you can use things that are laying around your house. Like this is a sour cream lid. I use it all the time with my lettering. So I could use this, draw a little bit right here on the sour cream lid. Get my water brush. And what you have to do is squeeze it, and that's going to get the water coming down into the barrel. Unless you're like this one who's not cooperating. Oh, maybe it's coming down. What in the world? Let me get one of these. Here's one. That little fella's going somewhere else if he doesn't cooperate. All right, here's one. All right, so now the water's coming out. And I add a little bit of water to that, and look what happens. Isn't that awesome? It turns into what looks like watercolor paint. So then we can come over here and do some lettering with this. So this is also a lettering tool. This is a water brush. Okay. Now this is one of my favorites for lettering. And do you know why? Let me see here. Let me get another card. It's a clicker. It erases. So watch this. I love this. These changed my life whenever I was introduced to these. And I'm pretty sure it was one of my daughters that introduced these to me. They come in so many colors, and they're perfect to use in your planner also, because you know how things are always changing. So these are great for practicing your lettering, but they're also great for your planners, on your calendars. There's so many things you can do with them. So we've included one in the kit. Then the last tool that we've included is probably my all-time favorite. This is a pencil. It's not just any pencil. This is a Papermate twistable clicker pencil. I don't know the real name for it. I'll get a link and we'll put it in the comments. But the reason I like it so much is when you're lettering, this has got an indentation right here that's really comfortable for holding it. But also, like when you start running out of lead, all you have to do is click it right there. You don't even have to, if it was one of those regular ones, you'd have to stop and press it down. No, you can just keep holding it in position and add more lead as you go. So I love these. And the other thing I love about it, it's got a twister twistable eraser, but it's a good eraser. Erasers are not created equal. I'm just going to tell you, you can quickly mess up a piece with a bad eraser, but these are good erasers, so I highly recommend them. Another eraser, this one is not in your kit, but I really like these, and I use these in my artwork and in my lettering, is a Moo eraser. So that is what is in your kit. Let's swap back over here. Let's see if we got any questions. Rebecca's here from Texas. There's Miss Leslie. Okay, so for the paper, Shania was asking about the paper. So with lettering, you're not limited with the paper. So I'm going to show you what I like to use, but I want to tell you that you can use anything. You can use an index card, you can use the back of an envelope, and you could use the back of a paper sack, because a lot of times we'll feel limited, like I don't have my supplies, so I can't. That's not right. You can write on anything. And I encourage you to do that so that you can actually practice more. What was the name of the erasable pen? This is a Frixion clicker pen. You see that? They have several different kinds. So I think we might be going to change them out in the kit so everybody gets the same. We have clickers, and then we also have their marker. This is the marker. Is that just blurry or is it me? Here, let me swap the camera back. I want you to see what it does. Okay, so can you see that? This is the Frixion. So you can draw like this, add the downstroke. Goodness, a tickle. You can color it in if you wanted to. And then with these, the eraser is on the end. Of all of theirs, I think that this one's probably my favorite because it just feels more versatile. Because you can actually even use it like a highlighter. I might have to get a cough drop. And highlight in your books, or you could letter with it. So the kit will either have the Frixion fine liner, or it'll have the clicker. Yeah, they're really great. One thing you have to think about though is if you were to write on something in your journal, leave it out in a hot car, that this ink will erase in with heat. I've heard that you could put it back in like something cold, like a freezer or refrigerator, and the ink reappears again. I've not tried that. I need to try that to see if that's really true or not. So let me get this back over here. Yeah, thank you for asking that, because I bet other people were wondering that as well. Usually if one person has a question, there's other people that also want to know. All right, I want to show you another thing that, because Shania was asking about paper. So you can use grid paper if you want to be able to see the lines, and if that kind of helps you feel a little bit better about it. But I got this on Amazon. I was looking for the name of it. I don't see it. It's a big pack of dotted paper, and it's probably my favorite. It's raining here, and it's kind of cold, which is weird in May. And I really wished I'd pulled my hair up, and I didn't want to go back inside and get wet. So now it's all in my eyes. Okay, can you see that? Let's see if we can hold it under here. All right, Shania, do you see that? It's kind of blurry. There's little bitty dots. And I like this type of paper because it helps me with the lines going across, but you can also, it just kind of helps keep your place. It's dotted grid paper is what it is. This particular brand is thick, so you can write on one side and it doesn't show through on the other side. And I was looking for my piece of paper that I keep the name of it on here, but maybe Miss Leslie will help me remember, and we'll come back and put that in the comments because I don't know where it is. But I will share with you so that you will know as well. All right, so do you have any questions about the workshop or about what's in the kit? I really would love for y'all to join us. I think you'll enjoy it. I think you'll have fun. Let me move this so that we can do some lettering now. So I've got stuff everywhere. So I printed out those quotes, and I'm going to don't forget to sign up by the 31st to get your kit. If you sign up for the kit and the workshop, we will send you one of our prayer journals. All right, here comes my journal. I've got, let's see how we're doing on time. We might have time. I'm going to do this either later this afternoon or tonight. My friend Amy makes these wonderful, delicious smelling candles. She sent me a box so that I could show y'all. All right, so here's my big notebook, my big journal. This is the one that I've got at Target in the school supply section. The pages are kind of thin, but that's okay. They're big. There's plenty of room to write. Where can I get the notebooks for watercolor projects? What kind? That's a good question. I think that, so this one right here, Janice, this one is good because it's big, but look at it just depends on what you want. So see the back of this? This is where that page got moist. So it did buckle a little bit. These were all done with marker. This was done with watercolor, and it didn't buckle really bad. So this type of paper is actually called a sketchbook. So, and I've noticed this because I've been really looking closer at the supplies to be able to give better recommendations. It's like women's clothing, and it really varies depending on the brand. So one company's sketchbook is like almost like tracing paper. It's so thin. Another company's sketchbook is really nice and thick. So it depends on what you want to do. Or you want to do like a watercolor painting in it, that will help me be able to kind of tell you. Or you want to do it for lettering. All right, let's see if I can find an empty page here. Thought I had it marked, but obviously I did not. That's where I was drawing some of the pencil mark. What I'll do, yes, I want to learn to paint flowers and ferns, etc. Okay, then I would definitely recommend watercolor paper. Yeah, I'll show you. There's several different brands. I don't have them handy, but I will find a Post-it note right this minute, and we'll write it down, and I'll post it because I've got some other people interested in that, and I'm looking at dates to even do a watercolor workshop. So if that sounds like something y'all be interested in, let me know, because that is, I've gotten several requests for that. So watercolor paper for Janice. Okay, yep, I'll get it. Oops, I didn't put both R's in there. All right, so these are the quotes from Timothy Keller, just a few of them. And I was looking through there to see if I could find one that's not small, short, that would be easy to letter. And so I highlighted a few of them. One of them is mercy isn't just the job of the Christian, mercy is the mark of the Christian. I thought that was really good. If the suffering Jesus endured did not make him give up on us, nothing will. That's pretty good too, isn't it? Yeah. If you were 100 times worse than you are, your sins would be no match for his mercy. So let's do one of these short ones because some of them are kind of long. Yeah, I'll post it later and tag you with it. Now, anytime you want to know something, just ask. Okay, so do y'all have a preference? Which one of these? Suffering, mercy? Both of those are mercy. Let's do this. Mercy isn't just the job of a Christian. Mercy is the mark of a Christian. How's that? All right. And I think I will use so many choices here. Let me use my pencil. Let's see if y'all can see what I'm seeing. I have done this before where I was doing lettering and it wasn't even showing. So mercy is a key word in this. So I'm going to start out writing mercy big because that's a word that showed up twice in this quote, but it also really spoke to me. So that's how I pick my keyword is this something that's really standing out to me that I need to pay attention to? Then I need to make it a keyword. Okay, so there's my big word, mercy. And it says mercy isn't, now I can pay attention. I was trying to do both. So this is what I would call another word that I want to. You tell them I'm having a hard time talking and drawing at the same time. All right, so I did this one in more of a print font. I'm going to do the next mercy in more of like a script. How's the weather where y'all are? I love how much cooler it is today. My husband and I were talking about it's almost strange, but a good strange. Okay, mercy is. So I had job here. So the comparable down here would be mark. So it's something that sets us apart. Having mercy is the mark of the Christian. Okay, can you kind of see a pattern here? So I feel like something's off with this, but maybe it looks okay to you. Okay, so we got mercy up here. Isn't just the job of the Christian, mercy is the mark of the Christian. So since I underlined that, I want to underline this, mark and job. And so now let's go ahead and think what I want to show you is adding the color. And oh, one important thing, I need to give him credit for this. This is Mr. Keller. This is not me saying that. Timothy Keller. If you're not familiar with he's got some really good books and sermons. I've mostly listened to him like through podcast, I think is how, at the Redeemer Church. All right, so the way we could do this is there's several ways that I call them lettering helpers that help words in your quote or your verse stand out. Hey, Tammy, I'm glad you joined us. So with this, notice I have the same word in this quote, but I wrote it two different ways. And I did that on purpose because it's going to help this part be stand apart from this part. So mercy isn't just the job of the Christian, mercy is. So it's mercy is not, mercy is. So, and then I'll probably color this and this so that the contrast of that stands out. And we could take it even to a different level if we wanted to do it and get our color wheel out and what are the opposites, with even the colors, but we won't go that far into detail. So let me see if I can show you now how we can color code this almost and use color as our lettering helper. So let me get, I'm going to use what is this? That's not a Tombow, but here's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to get a set out. That makes it easier. I think I'm going to use this brighter set for spring. Okay, so let's make a contrast between these two mercies. So let's do one green and one this bright pink. So for this, I'm just going to use my Tombow to color this in. And I'm going to use just a gentle touch on the thin line. And then I'm going to put pressure on the downstroke. So this is thin, and then pressure for the down. And it's really okay to talk to yourself if that helps you remember that downstrokes are thick, upstrokes are thin. And a lot of times I do that. I'll say up, down. That's really down, down, down. Okay, so there's mercy. And let's do this mercy. Down, up, down, up, down, up, down, whoops, up, down, down, and then we can add the connector right there. Down, then we'll connect those with the entrance, and then I'm going to do it like this. Okay. So how could now we use color to make a contrast with the isn't and is? So we could use this peach coral color up here, and then do you see what I'm doing? So I've got, do it this way, the dark green and the dark pink for that contrast in the two examples of mercy. So now because I don't want to take away from the pop of my keywords, but I want it to coordinate. So I'm going to use a lighter color, and I don't have a lighter shade of green with me, and I want it to pop a little bit anyway. So I'm going to use this coral up here for the isn't, and this light lavender color for the is. And what that's going to do is it's going to make this word pop but because they're the same value, the darkness of it, they also line up together. Does that make sense? All right, so now we're going up, down, up, down, 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 up. Here's our little thing. Down, down. All right, can you already see how, to me, that's pleasing to my eye? And the color is, it's like the color is giving my brain, my eye and my brain direction already. It's just helping it know where to look. So now this could be the same. We could use that the same color, and then we'll use a different color for these two to make these two stand out. Okay, so now I will get this. Nope, I'm telling you wrong. I'm going to turn around and get, no, I'm not. All right, so I'm going to use this pink for the word mark. Sometimes I get too detailed and I get in my own way, and I don't want to do that. All right, so mark and job, those are also a contrast. So I need a color now for this, and I've got this and this working together. You kind of see how I lay it out, and then I could use this yellow. That would work. So this is one of the reasons I like to buy the Tombos and sets, because I don't have to think about what looks good together. They're good at putting these sets together, and I just let them do the thinking. You know, that's one less thing I got to think about. All right, so now, do you kind of see what I'm seeing? So with the rest of these words, I can let them be the same color, or I could let them coordinate. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to let them be just this black, just to let that's going to help these other words get more attention. And that's what I want. I want my eye to see, okay, there's a pattern here. That's one of the ways that a pattern is one of the lettering helpers. Pattern is pattern, color, font, style, and space. Let me know if you have questions about this. This is just giving you a little taste of what we will do in the workshop. That's June the 12th, 13th, and 14th. Okay. Yeah. All right. And that's Tim Keller. He's got some great quotes. He, in my opinion, he has helped me a lot. It's because I have a tendency, have perfectionist tendencies, and that also means I have like legalistic tendencies, and I'm really hard on myself. So his teachings, his sermons have really helped me throughout the years find balance with grace and mercy. And I have to continually be reminding me of those, reminding myself. And just so you know, I mean, you do know, I'm just saying out loud, I don't have it all together. And the things that I'm lettering and writing are things that I need to hear. I need them. So, and my prayer is that it's helpful to somebody out there. Somebody else needs to hear it also. So just to recap, what I just did is I took a short quote, and I think I might be losing my signal, but that's okay, because we're not going to let it interrupt us. We're fixing to hang with me. Okay. So I took a quote from Timothy Keller, who just passed away, and I wrote this in my scripture journal, my notebook. And I wrote mercy really big because that was the key word. That's the word that really stood out to me. So I used several lettering helpers with this. So the way that he made this statement, he's talking about mercy, but he's making a contrast. Mercy isn't, mercy is. So I wanted my words to also contrast each other. So I did 2 different font styles, more of a printed font and more of the cursive type font as a contrast. I also used color to help contrast those 2 words, mercy. Then I used color with the word isn't and is because that was also a contrast. And so I chose my colors from the Tombow set, which made it a little bit easier, but let me pull this down a smidgen. We're not going to let technology rain on our parade today. So you can see here, it's backwards for me, isn't. I used this coral color, this color right here to go with my green. And then this is the bright color I use for mercy. And then I use this pink for is. So isn't and is contrasted each other. Okay. So then I had job and mark. So mercy isn't just the job. Mercy is the mark. So I used mark, and then I used this yellow color for job to contrast. So it isn't just your job, it's a mark. It's the mark of a Christian. It's something that they do because it's who they are. And then I used this purple for the is, so that goes there. And then because it's also important to know when to use color and when to keep things kind of plain. So I could have continued to break it down into additional colors. If I had done that, I think it would have given my eye too much to look at and too much to choose from on which is the most important in looking at this. So for the rest of the words, I let them be black. And that's how I broke this piece down. What do you think? You think you can do this? I know you can. I know you can. Okay. So let me say one more thing because I know lunchtime is almost over and some of you probably need to get back to work. Let me move this. Bear with me just a moment. Now, move this since it's not working. It's raining here, so sometimes that interferes with the signals and all that good stuff. So I'm going to be back, and I want to talk to you about a couple of things, really. But one thing is about our June Lemonade Reminders kit, because we've got something important going on with it. It's raining in Georgia, too. Yeah. Is it cool there? Because it's very comfortable here. It's really, really nice outside, with the exception of the rain. I've got the windows open out in the studio. So if you will, go in and like our page so that you can get the notifications or sign up for the text alerts, because I've got a lot of new things that I want to tell you about, and I don't want you to miss out. So we've got a new theme for our June kit, and we're putting that together, and it's got a really sweet story behind it. So I want to tell you about it. I'm actually wearing the shirt today. We went with this bright pink, and it is well with my soul. It's a hymn. I think it works out to be about every other month. One month we have a verse from Psalms, and one month we have a hymn. But this in June is going to be a hymn, and we're going to talk about the story behind this hymn. Do you already know the story behind It Is Well With My Soul? Tammy's in West Virginia, warm and sunny here. All right. I love hearing how the weather, I don't know, I've always been fascinated by the weather and how it's different for everybody. So thank y'all for hanging in here with me and looking at this quotes from Tim Keller, letting me show you our workshop kit. If you are already a monthly member for the Lemonade Creative Hearts, you get free access to this workshop. There's no need to pay. You can order a kit, but I think you probably already have these tools that we're going to be using. So I want you to know that it's not like you're missing out on something by not getting the kit. You probably already have it. If you, but you're welcome to order it, but it's not necessary. And if you want the kit, I want to encourage you to go ahead and order so that we can get it together and get it sent to you so that you get it in time, because I will be going through the workbook. What about the multimedia group? So for that group, it's different for them. You won't have access because it's not painting. The mixed media group will get access to all the painting workshops, and the lettering ladies, the monthly lettering ladies, get access to all the lettering workshops. But if you have any questions just about that, just let me know. It doesn't let me see your name, so I can't. I wished I could name so I could tell you directly. But that's how we keep it straight, is just that way. And then see, we'll put this in their hub also. All right, Susan. Hey, Susan. It didn't let me see your name. I'm loving all those pictures that you're doing over there in mixed media. I'm just going to tell y'all, for May, our theme for our mixed media group was vintage ladies, and looking at old family photos and drawing, using them as a pattern. And in June, the vintage ladies carries over a little bit more, but we're going to be focused on the dresses from different time periods. So it's been fun. It's challenging. It's stretching all of us. And that's good, though. That's how we grow. All right. So thank y'all for being here. I appreciate it. And don't forget to follow the page or sign up for the text messages so you can get the alerts and know, because I'll be back. I'm going to show you my friend Amy's box, and then I'm going to be showing you our sneak peek for July. All right. Y'all go enjoy your day today, and I'm very thankful for each and every one of you. I will see you soon.